Hey there, AI enthusiasts. It feels like every time you blink, there's like a new AI model hitting the scene.
Yeah.
It's March 2025 already, and keeping up with these large language models.
The LLMs.
Yeah, the LLMs feels like a full-time job, right?
It really does.
But well, consider this deep dive, your shortcut to understanding what's really happening
Yeah.
out there in the world of AI. We've got research papers, developer forums, community buzz, the whole nine yards.
The whole perks, yeah.
Remember just a few months ago when OpenAI launched GPT-4
Oh, yeah.
and everyone thought it was the ultimate game changer?
The be-all and end-all. It
Yeah.
was amazing.
Well, they've just released GPT 4.5,
Uh,
and it turns out things aren't so clear-cut.
right.
Some are even saying it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Interesting.
And get this, smaller, more specialized models are actually giving the big guys a run for their money
I know. It's really interesting to see.
in some areas.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this, shall we?
Let's dig in.
What's interesting is how the AI landscape is shifting.
Yeah.
You're right, there's a lot of hype around GPT 4.5.
There is a lot of hype.
OpenAI is really pushing it as their most advanced model yet.
They are.
They've given it this massive context window of 128,000 tokens.
Huge.
To put that into perspective, imagine having an AI that can remember everything you've discussed over weeks
Yeah.
or even months.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it. That's the kind of power we're talking about.
I know, it's wild.
Plus, its knowledge base is up to date as of October 2023.
Really?
So it's pretty recent.
Sounds impressive.
It does.
But is it living up to the hype?
Well, the benchmarks are a bit of a mixed bag.
Really?
In some areas, like creative writing, GPT 4.5 is truly exceptional.
Okay.
But when it comes to coding, it's actually struggling to outperform its predecessor, GPT 4.0,
Really?
and even some older models.
Wow.
And to make things even more complicated, it's significantly more expensive to use.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like 15 to 30 times more expensive than GPT 4.0.
Wow, that's a hefty price tag.
It is.
So is bigger always better when it comes to these models?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this cost increase of GPT 4.5 has a lot of people wondering if the price is worth it,
Yeah.
especially when there are other models out there that are proving to be more budget-friendly
Right.
and just as capable or even better for certain tasks.
Like Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
Yes, exactly.
I've heard that one's turning some heads, especially in the coding world.
It is. It's making waves, especially because it's consistently outperforming GPT 4.5 on benchmarks like SWE Bench,
Okay.
which focuses on software engineering tasks.
Got it.
If you're a developer looking to use AI for coding,
Yeah.
this is a big deal. Claude is consistently writing better, cleaner, and more efficient code than GPT 4.5.
So does this mean we should all just ditch GPT and jump on the Claude bandwagon?
Not necessarily.
But
The AI world is becoming less about finding the single best model and more about using the right tool for the job.
Hmm.
Think of it like this. You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a nail, right?
Right, a screwdriver.
Exactly. It's the same with AI. You might choose Claude for its coding prowess, but stick with GPT 4.5 when you need to write a compelling marketing copy or a creative story.
So it's like building your own personalized AI toolkit.
Exactly.
I like that.
And there are so many fascinating tools in this toolkit beyond just GPT and Claude.
Yeah.
For instance, there's Grok 3, which is specifically designed to be more conversational
Okay.
and excels at understanding humor and sarcasm. Imagine having an AI that can actually get your jokes.
Okay, yeah.
That's Grok 3.
Okay. I'm starting to see why keeping up with all this is so hard.
It is a lot.
There's a new model every week,
It seems like it.
and they all have their own specialties.
Yeah, and we haven't even touched on the models that go beyond just text.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's 5.4 multimodal,
Uh-huh.
which is breaking new ground by incorporating vision and audio inputs.
Wow.
It's not just reading and writing, it's starting to understand the world through images and sounds.
Yeah.
And then there's its smaller but equally impressive cousin, 5.4 Mini. This one might be smaller, but it's a powerhouse for tackling complex math and coding problems.
So we've got these large multi-purpose models, and then we have these smaller, more specialized ones.
Right.
It sounds like there's a lot of innovation happening across the spectrum.
There really is.
What about the open source world?
Yeah.
I've heard that's where some of the most exciting developments are taking place.
You're absolutely right. The open source community is exploding with innovation right now, and that's where we'll pick up in the next section.
Okay, sounds good. I'm excited to learn more about that.
Yeah, me too. The open source world is really shaking things up. One of the most exciting tools to come out recently is LangChain.
LangChain.
It's all about making it easier for developers like you to build incredible AI applications.
So it's like a bridge between these powerful LLMs and real-world use cases.
Exactly. LangChain provides high-level APIs and pre-built agents that handle a lot of the heavy lifting. Think of it as a toolbox full of ready-made components that you can plug and play to create your own AI solutions. You don't need to be an AI expert to start building with LangChain.
Do you have any examples of how LangChain is actually being used? I always find it helpful to see how these tools are being applied in practice.
Absolutely. One of the most impressive success stories is MUFG Bank.
MUFG Bank.
They used LangChain to build a sales automation system that's already showing incredible results.
Wow.
Imagine an AI that can handle initial customer interactions, qualify leads, and even suggest products or services.
That's amazing.
That's the kind of power LangChain is putting into the hands of developers.
It really shows how these open source tools are democratizing access to AI and making it possible for anyone to build incredible things.
And it's not just LangChain, there's the VLLM project,
ELM project.
which is doing groundbreaking work to optimize how these large models process information. Their focus is on memory management, attention mechanisms, two key areas that can significantly boost the speed and efficiency of LLMs.
So are they making it possible to run these massive models on less powerful hardware?
That's exactly the goal.
That would be a game changer, especially for smaller businesses or individual developers.
They're making these powerful models more accessible and affordable. And then there's Llama Index, which has developed a tool called Llama Extract.
Llama Extract.
This one is particularly fascinating because it allows you to unlock the insights hidden within mountains of unstructured data.
So instead of spending hours sifting through research papers or reports, I could just use Llama Extract to pull out the key information.
It's like having your own superpowered research assistant.
Sign me up.
You can feed it anything from scientific articles to financial reports to internal company documents, and it will extract the most relevant insights in a structured, easily digestible format. It's a huge time saver and could revolutionize how we approach research and analysis.
All this open source innovation is definitely exciting, but it also feels like there's a lot of tension building in the industry, right? We've got these massive closed source models like GPT 4.5, and then we have this vibrant open source community pushing the boundaries in different directions.
You've hit the nail on the head. There are some big questions swirling around the future of AI development. The pricing of GPT 4.5 has sparked a lot of debate, with many people questioning whether these large models are becoming too expensive and exclusive.
It does seem like a big gamble on OpenAI's part,
Yeah.
especially when you consider the performance of some of the smaller, more cost-effective models and the momentum building in the open source world.
It raises a fundamental question about the direction of AI development. Is bigger always better? Or are we reaching a point of diminishing returns where the cost and complexity of these massive models outweigh their benefits?
It makes you wonder if there's a ceiling to this bigger is better approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a growing movement advocating for a shift from scaling to thinking.
Scaling to thinking.
The idea is that instead of just making models bigger and bigger, we need to focus on enhancing their reasoning and problem-solving abilities. We need AI that can truly understand the nuances of language and the complexities of the world, not just parrot back patterns it's seen in the data.
So instead of just throwing more data and processing power at the problem, we need to get smarter about how we approach AI development.
Precisely, and this is where some of the emerging research directions become really intriguing. There's a lot of excitement around diffusion-based LLMs like LLDA.
LDA.
These models work differently than traditional LLMs, generating text in parallel, which could lead to significant leaps in planning and creativity.
I've heard whispers that future versions of GPT might even incorporate this kind of diffusion architecture.
That's right. There's a lot of potential there. What's fascinating about this is the potential impact on the tools you have at your fingertips. Imagine AI tools that are not only more powerful, but also more intuitive and creative, able to understand your intentions and collaborate with you on complex tasks.
It's incredible to think about. So we've covered the major players, the open source movement, the industry debates, and the cutting edge research. What about the human side of all this? What's the general feeling in the AI community about all these developments?
Well, online communities like Reddit and Discord are buzzing with activity. People are excited, curious, and a little bit apprehensive all at the same time. Let's dive into the community buzz and see what people are really saying.
So let's dive in. What's the word on the street? What are people saying about all this?
Well, the value proposition of GPT 4.5, that's a big one, you know?
Yeah, bet.
People are really trying to figure out if that price hike is justifiable, especially with the rise of smaller, more affordable models like Claude,
Right.
that are proving to be incredibly capable.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of discussion about that. Claude's performance in those coding tasks really seems to be the talk of the town.
It is.
It's interesting how it's challenging the dominance of these large general-purpose models, right?
It really is. And it's not just anecdotal evidence either.
Really?
People are sharing the results of their own experiments, pitting these models against each other on real-world coding challenges.
Wow, so it's like a virtual AI coding competition.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Claude is winning.
Quite often, yeah.
Makes you wonder if we'll see more specialization in the AI model world, right?
Yeah.
Models that are specifically designed to excel in certain areas like coding or writing or data analysis.
It's definitely a possibility it could lead to a more diverse and dynamic AI landscape where you have a range of specialized models to choose from depending on your specific needs.
And let's not forget about the advancements in text-to-video models.
Yeah.
I've seen some mind-blowing demos of WAN 2.1 T2V.
That one's impressive.
The quality of the videos it's generating is pretty incredible, especially considering how fast it can churn them out.
It really is. It's amazing how quickly this technology is progressing. People are already using it for all sorts of creative applications, from generating short film clips to creating animations for educational purposes.
It makes you wonder what the future holds if we've come this far in just a few years. Imagine what's possible in the next decade.
It's true. It is an exciting time to be following the world of AI, but as these models become more powerful and more integrated into our lives, it's also important to consider the bigger picture.
You mean the implications of all this for society as a whole?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've talked about the technical advancements, the industry trends, the community buzz,
Right.
but it all comes back to how these tools will shape our lives, our work, and our future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways you hope our listeners will walk away with? What really stands out to you from everything we've discussed?
For me, it's the sheer pace of innovation. It's mind-boggling how quickly things are moving in the world of AI. And it's not just about the models themselves, but also the tools, the libraries, the applications. The entire ecosystem is evolving at an unprecedented rate.
And it's not just about big companies like OpenAI either. The open source community is playing a huge role in democratizing access to these technologies and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. The collaborative spirit and the open sharing of knowledge are driving so much of the progress we're seeing. And that brings me to a final thought I'd like to leave you with.
Okay.
We've talked about the power of these models, the potential benefits, the challenges, the concerns, but ultimately the future of AI will be shaped by how we choose to use it.
It's up to us to ensure that these powerful tools are used for good, to solve problems, to enhance creativity, and to make the world a better place.
That's right. The future of AI isn't predetermined. It's something we're all creating together through our choices, our actions, and our imagination.
What a great way to end this deep dive.
Yeah.
It's been a fascinating journey through the ever-evolving world of large language models.
And thank you to all our listeners for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of AI, and we encourage you to continue exploring, learning, and shaping the future of this incredible technology.